So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another episode of Is It That Bad, where we take a look at an album that maybe got mixed reviews. And for this episode, my good friend Lorenzo, the professor, said that, did you know, I think this was like a month and a half ago, we were talking, and he's like, did you know that Steven Seagal had a record? I'm like, Steven Seagal, the action star from the 90s, had a record? And he's like, yes. So I'm like, well, we gotta cover it. So the album in question is actually his debut record. Uh, Here's the cover. It's Songs
There
from
it
the
is.
Crystal Cave. And look at Steven Seagal there. He's looking at you and he's saying, puñeta. It's like, listen to my record, or I'll be out for justice, or you'll be marked for death.
He's holding that
Ah,
guitar like he can actually play it.
You're gonna be under siege.
oh, that's another one. Yeah. I think he had like four good movies, and we already mentioned three. Oh, and the other one is Hard to Kill.
I've never seen a single movie.
Oh man,
Oh,
you need to see. Then you're not going to understand one of my jokes that I'm gonna make later on.
No, I know the titles. I just haven't seen a single movie.
oh,
Ah, well, actually, this is a true story. Steven Seagal is one of my favorite stepfather's actor, and this is a funny story. So there's a movie that's called Executive Decision, where there's a
oh,
plane, and they when that movie was coming out, they were like marketing it like it was a Steven Seagal movie, but it was really a Kurt Russell movie. So I went with my stepfather to the movie theater to watch that movie. And the first 10 minutes, they're boarding the plane because there's like a terrorist, and something blows off and Steven Seagal falls into his death. And my stepfather was like, no, 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 he can't be dead. He's Steven fucking Seagal. I'm like, well, I think he's dead. And I kid you not, he got out of the movie theater and went to the register, and he asked for his money back because they just killed Steven Seagal.
Oh,
that's awesome. That's a fan
I can
right
just
there.
see the
No, he
tear
was
on his.
like, at the
He's not
beginning, he
dead.
was like in denial, and he was like, no, no, Hector, he's hanging on to the plane. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he died. So yeah. So a
I'm pretty
spoiler
sure he's
alert, if
gone.
you haven't seen Executive Decision, I just fucked that up for you. And you know what? I think we swear before the 2-minute mark in YouTube. So say goodbye to monetizing this video, but who cares? So for this episode, I'm joined, of course, I have Lorenzo the Professor. How are you, Lorenzo?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm actually a lot better after I listened to this album, I guess. I don't know. I probably not. I think my ears are still have a little dry blood on them.
Probably. And we have, for the first time this year, because Matthew from Diasable, I think it's been a few months since you've been on this. How are you, Matthew?
I've been good. Sorry, I've been busy all over the place. I haven't had a chance to sit down and do something collab, and I'm so excited to be here. I'm always happy to be here.
You
Matthew's just
always,
cranking out the album
Matthew,
reviews.
yeah, Matthew always makes time to come to the crappiest albums. He's like, is it scrappy? I'm there. So
Say no
Matthew,
more, fam.
I mean, to
say
be
no
fair, he
more.
was here for From Zero, and I think we'll all agree that was better than this.
Oh yes. Yeah, from
That
Zero,
was at
yeah,
least kind of
everyone
fun.
was in From Zero. And obviously, today, Live Listen Erase wanted to be here, but today is a bad time for him. But I needed to have Lorenzo on this episode because he's the one who mentioned it. It would have been like a travesty not to have Lorenzo on this episode. And finally, rounding up the panel, Rock of All Ages, who also always writes me he wants to be on the crappiest music to talk to as well. So, Rock of All Ages, how are you, man?
Doing okay. Got a new passport. I'm excited about that.
Nice. Is it for Jamaica?
No.
No? Okay. So, yeah, everyone knows the drill. We have the free rounds. The first round, we will give our first impressions of when we listen to this. Then we will go to round two. And for this episode, I am safe to say that we can pick 4 tracks. I think
Yeah.
4 tracks. 4 tracks is a decent number that we can pick for this album. And on the third and final round, we'll give our final thoughts and our vote, thumbs up, thumbs sideways, or thumbs down. So yeah, let's start, since Lorenzo was the one who said let's listen to this. Lorenzo, we'll do Lorenzo, then we'll do Matthew, Rock of All Ages, and then me. So Lorenzo, your initial thoughts.
I mean, I gotta say, when I first heard about this album, I heard like a little snippet of it. And the song that was is the one that says Punani a lot. So I was like, we have to do this. It's I was saying like we should do this for like April Fools or something, because this is like I thought it was an April Fool's joke. I'm not kidding. So I mean everybody knows Steven Seagal from his movies. So since I'm doing with Hector, we're doing a lot of some movie stuff in the channel. I was like, we should do like a movie music thing. So that's why I was like, let's do Steven Seagal. So I brought the pain upon myself. And on you guys, I'm sorry. But first impressions, I think a comment I saw in one of the videos for one of these songs explains it all. It said, and I'm gonna say the person who said it. It's called Ruins of Metal. That's the username. The title of this album should be Songs from the Crystal Meth Cave. That's I think pretty accurate. So that's my initial thoughts.
Yeah, whoever that is a great comment. So good, great initial thoughts. So what about you, Matthew?
My first thoughts on this when I heard about it, I was like, first I was like, no, he does not have an album. And then I was like, wait a minute, it's Steven Seagal. He wants to dip his hand in a little bit of everything. Of course he would have an album. And when I saw the album cover, I was like, of course it would be like this super mystical looking, like it's all about me. And I was just like, I don't want to have any thoughts about it, like preconceptions about it, but it just it just looks so it's just hilarious. I think it was just gonna be hilarious. And as I was listening to it, hilarious doesn't even like put it. It's so bad. It's so funny. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. So my initial thoughts was it just was not going to be a good time, but a good time at the same time.
It's in that realm of it's so bad it's good.
Teetering on that a little bit, but I'll talk about more of it later.
Yeah. So good first impressions, thoughts. What about you, Rock of All Ages?
So I did research on this album, and I saw that he made a second one after this.
He did?
A blues album in 2006 called Mojo Priest. I started with that one, and I'll be honest.
Why?
Hold on. I'm going somewhere with this. It's not bad, except for one major flaw. Steven Seagal can't sing.
Mm.
Since he was 54 at the time, you might blame his age, but I've seen blues musicians in their 80s and 90s who sounded better than him.
Mm.
And apparently, Steven produced that album entirely by himself, so he had only himself to blame. With that insight gained, and went into this album, Songs from the Crystal Cave, knowing only 3 things about it. Firstly, there are blues songs on here and also reggae songs. More on that later. Secondly, I knew about one song from the album called Strut. Again, more about that later. And finally, there are two people of note who performed on the album: dance hall singer Lady Saw and Stevie Wonder.
Yes, yes, I
He's
saw this.
on My God.
He
I
does
mean, he's lying.
the
You don't know who he's
harmonica
working with.
solo.
So once I actually heard the album, four of the first five songs I thought were okay. They were the songs that I thought, this reminds me of 90s Eric Clapton. Those are the ones where he's trying to do like a kind of a blues thing. But the rest of the album is him doing a very bold take on reggae. And that is the majority of the album. And I'm gonna say more. I'm gonna save my thoughts for the next round.
Of course. So my initial thoughts when I listened to this is like, oh, so Steven Seagal went from throwing Jamaicans of apartments to impersonating them in song. I know Rockefeller, you haven't seen Mark for Death, but he throws a Jamaican out of a building. And there's a great line in that movie where he says, like, one guy fought, I don't remember the first line, but he's
Was
in
the
the second.
Jamaican the bad guy or like one of the goons or something?
No, it was just a random Jamaican. No, no, it was a bad no, no, it was one of the bad Jamaican guys with the dreadlocks and everything, like typical. Like it looked like the same. I think it was the same guy that played a Jamaican in Predator 2. Like I'm like they had him play the evil Jamaican also for Mark for Death. So
I've only seen the first Predator movie, the only good one.
yeah, that's the only good one. Thank God that Arnold never made a record. So you
Oh
know,
God.
so yeah, it would have been funny.
Can you imagine?
So Steven Seagal on that movie, he throws this Jamaican out of the building, and there's a line in the trailer. You got to see the trailer for Mark for this. He said like, so one of the bad guys, he thought he could fly. He was wrong. That's like the one-liner.
That reminds me of the line in RoboCop, "Can you fly, Bobby?"
Yeah, those one-liners were great. So yeah, I thought of that because like this album, so it's a mixture of like world music, pop music, uh, and I don't know who the hell told Steven Seagal that he could sing, but and also you know what's funny about this? This came out in 2004. Like
Yeah.
why in 2004? And I'm thinking, maybe he listened to Rocksteady by No Doubt that came out in 2001. And actually, we did cover that album on Is It That Bad as well. Because it was like a reggae infused dubstep album. And Lady Saw, I think, is on one of the songs. Or so I know when you told me about this song, like the first song I heard was that Strut song, because my good friend Pedro told me, "Oh, you need to listen about the song about Punani," and I'm like, "What?" So I listened to that one. So yeah, my first impressions is like, it's so hilariously bad, but I had a fun time listening to some very bad music. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get into it. So yeah, so those are our initial thoughts. So let's go to round two, where this time we're gonna pick four songs. So Lorenzo, give us your picks.
Okay. I have to say I agree with Rock of All Ages in that the first few songs in this album are like very generic. It's not terrible. It's just like generic music, what do you call that? That rock,
Yeah.
soft rock. Um
Eric Clapton rock
I
wannabe.
mean I like Eric Clapton, I'm not gonna lie.
Me too.
But this is not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I remember telling you, Hector, I was like, I'm surprised. I've listened to like four songs and I'm not hating this. Like I'm not thinking this is horrible.
And then you get to Lollipop.
No, then you get to My God.
Yes,
Then you get to My God, and I'm like, oh. So in my notes, I wrote, so this is where it goes off the rails.
exactly. Yes.
And I think that's exactly where it goes off the rails.
In the
Yes.
fourth song.
My God, I think it's probably one of
My God
the
is
It's number
worst.
6. It's 6 on the track
Yeah,
list.
Oh,
yeah.
it's 6? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like crappy. You know what? I think this guy was earnest about this album. It's just what I think about him. Like I don't think he did it like in a I'm gonna get money from this sense. But the lyrics are so, it's like it's so bad. Everything is so bad about this song. The instrumentals are terrible. The song is trash. I'm sorry. I didn't understand it. It's also like it feels like a mishmash of stuff. So that's number one for me. Then I really hated Strut. I'm sorry. I mean, it's hilarious. Not gonna lie, it made me laugh. But when you have Steven Seagal doing a Jamaican accent, talking about Punani,
Uh,
you know, this is not gonna work. uh, and then I really did not like Jealousy. Uh, it's just, I mean, also the song titles are like generic placeholders for other better titles. It's like Dance, War, Jealousy, Strut.
Not for sale.
So I'm like, Better Man. My God, it's like
I thought Better Man was a Pearl Jam cover at first.
Pearl Jam outsole. He better not ruin the Pearl Jam song. Please don't.
so. So I thought Jealousy was terrible. It's like this weird conversation about freedom of the press with music in the background, but without understanding at all. Talking about the Constitution and all that without really understanding the Constitution.
And you're a lawyer.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then I really did not like Dance. I was hoping to dance. I'm like, get me to dance, and then this was like this weird Indian sounding thing, but not like cool Indian music. Like I'm a sucker for a cool Bollywood movie with some cool songs, some dance moves and all that, but nothing about this is dancey. So
Did
that's
you have
my
the image
4.
of like Steven Seagal belly dancing?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, definitely.
oh Lord.
So that's, I mean, I could probably go on
Pick
with
one.
the second half, but that's
Pick
the
one.
4.
Let's do 5. Fuck it. Let's do 5.
I mean, Gory. I don't know how you pronounce that song. Gory? Gore?
Gore.
Gory? I'm not sure, but that one was bad as well. It's Lollipop was terrible. I mean, you could just pick anything
Giddy up.
from the 6th song onwards. This is also way too long.
This is an hour. An hour of Steven Seagal. Like what the fuck? Like, so in great thoughts. So Matthew, you can pick 4. You can feed whatever your heart desires. There's no rules today on
There's no rules on this, then. Similar to Lorenzo, I was really surprised by the first couple songs. I was like, all right, it doesn't sound that bad in terms of production. Some of the guitar playing, everything. The backing vocals, I was like, oh, the female backing vocals, these are pretty good. I'm kind of jamming out. But then, my God, I don't know, because I think it is a cover of a song because I like growing up in the church myself, I heard a song similar to that, but just the way he's singing it just seems so like has such a weird superiority complex to it, and just it, it just it just rubs all the wrong ways, and it's just like ugh. And I was like, yeah, this is what I was looking for. Not that I didn't want to look for something bad, but I was like, all right, here it
This
comes.
is it.
Yeah, it was just and out of all this, that was like the most aggressive he sounded on the record. So I was like you said, earnest, like he's speaking from the heart with that, and it was just like a little bit like just too aggressive and everything, just like just very,
Probably
very
throwing some Jamaicans off buildings.
such an aggressive man throwing people out the buildings. I know. Oh, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. There, I would say next after that, I would say war, which I think is you know it's really basic in us. And he's talking about he doesn't want to go like have war and stuff like that, but then he ends up going to a certain place to be an instructor for people while they're in war. So it's
Yeah.
like very a lot of what's on here is very hypocritical. The lyrics, that's what I'm getting at. His lyrics, his singing, very hypocritical, especially with the Jamaican accent on a lot of things. And he's from fucking Michigan. Like I had to look into like when I started, I was like, okay, one song with a little bit of Rastafari and Jamaican. I was like, I'll give it to him. He's trying something out, and it kept happening. I was like, maybe he has some Jamaican descent in him.
No.
And I had to look it up like midway through listen to album. Yeah, I think he's like half Jewish and half Italian. So I was just like, nope.
There's no Jamaican in him.
I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt. I was like trying to give it to them, but halfway through, I was like, all right, let me look it up. And speaking about halfway, it is a long album. I had to break it up into like two listening sessions. I was just like, oh, it's a lot of work.
Yep.
Um, so then another one, not for sale, similar, saying that he's not for sale, but then goes off and sells his services to other people halfway across the world for war. And Strut that he says he could have just said Punani one time and it could have been like, oh, okay, cool. It comes again with the fake Jamaican accent. I was like he really hammering it
He
down on that
really
Punani.
tries to let you know what he's talking about.
There's no, like I said, the placeholder names. There's no subtlety on this album. It
Oh,
is
no.
just Punani, just in your face with every,
Yeah.
just yeah, putting it all in your face. And I guess five. I'm looking at here. Oh, there's so many to choose from. There's so many. Yeah, jealousy and Gory. He just, I feel like by the end of the album, Gory, he was just kind of mumbling and just kind of, uh, I gotta. I gotta make these tracks. And just, I don't know. I couldn't really understand what he was saying or doing. And I still can't, I don't know if it's true or not. I looked at videos of him playing guitar and the people in the comments commenting. I don't know if he's actually playing or not. I cannot figure this out because like some of the bluesy stuff, some of the guitar playing, I'm like, no, this can't be him. Nah. So I'm still at a loss if it is him or not playing on it. But yeah, those are my thoughts. It just descends into just madness and horribleness once you get past my God.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that he's been playing guitar as long as he's been doing Aikido, but I don't know if it's like one of those Chuck Norris, facts thing.
I don't know. It doesn't help that
Like
everyone
Chuck
in all the
Norris
comments
slapped
are
the
trolling.
doctor when he was born. Yeah. Good
Oh,
ones, man. So yeah. What about you, Rock of All Ages?
So My God is the point of where the album officially becomes bad, but Lollipop begins a streak of 6 consecutive songs that are terrible reggae. And I know you said 5, but I could pick all of those 6, but I'm gonna try to narrow it down.
There's no
So,
rules today, man.
okay, it's good to know. Uh, First of all, I want to give some attention to The Light, where he has some like vague some woman doing vaguely Asian singing, and it comes across a little bit gross. Like if I wanted to hear Asian singing, I'd listen to Asian singing and not Steven Seagal.
Hmm.
It's like me love you long time.
Oh God, no. My God was also really bad. It reminded me of this one George Carlin joke where he's talking about he talked about religion a lot, and there was one joke where he said like, "Do you believe in God? No, dead. Do you believe in God? Yes. Do you believe in my God? No, dead. My God has a bigger dick than your God," and that's what this song is, but completely serious.
Hmm.
And then the the stretch of songs after that: Lollipop, Not for Sale, Dance, Jealousy, War, all terrible reggae. Lollipop especially is just fucking gross. And then Strut. I knew about this song already. I showed this song to some friends. I showed it to Emery, who's done a couple of episodes with us, and they showed it to their boyfriend, and their boyfriend said, "New rule: all rich people should have a no man following them around instead of a yes man." Because I feel like this album only exists because no one was around to tell him no.
Hmm.
And that song is a prime example. And you mentioned the comment sections. If you look up Strut on YouTube and read the comments, they are hilarious. There was one that was like, "Man, just when I thought there was something Steven Seagal can do, he goes and proves me wrong again." So yeah, those are my
I
thoughts.
remember that one.
Strut is the worst song on the album,
Hmm.
and they made it the single apparently.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think that's the single. Yeah. Yeah. So
Lord Jesus.
good one. So so that leaves my picks. So I think everyone's going to pick My God because first of all, like finding out that Stevie Wonder did songs for this and like he's blind, he's not deaf. Like,
Oh no.
like didn't he listen to like didn't he listen to this? Like like I'm sorry if I made a joke about Stevie Wonder, but he clearly can hear.
The
Like
setup
he
was too
can
good. It was
see.
too good. You had to.
I mean, to be completely honest, Stevie Wonder stopped making good albums after the 70s.
Yeah, but my God, this song, you said what I was thinking. It's like a dick measuring contest of like, oh my God, can kick your God's ass. And I was listening to this, I'm like, is this song meant to be hopeful, angry, like I don't know. Some presidents could use it at rallies. Like, my God, it's better than your God. Yeah.
He even
So
does that dance too.
yes. So yeah, no, that's oh, you nailed the dance. So that song is atrocious, but uh Lollipop. That like first of all, who is that like a Shaggy wannabe doing like the "You're my lollipop, you're my lollipop," blah blah blah. And
Oh,
when Steven Seagal's go, "You're my lollipop, you make me go giddy up," I'm like, oh my giddy up, like what century are we on, like really giddy up. And so let's analyze Lollipop. So is she a lollipop because he gets to lick it, so he bites the pop at the end?
Who is the lollipop attached to in this analogy?
Well, I don't know, but I remember there was a commercial back in the 90s where you had like a lollipop and you had like you lick it 3 times and then you
Oh, the
and I
Tootsie
thought,
Roll.
Oh, the
Tootsie
Tootsie
Roll.
Roll.
The Tootsie Pop, yeah.
yeah, and I thought of that, but just it's just like it was so bad that I wanted to listen to Shaggy. It wasn't me.
oh,
I mean, that's just a better song in every way.
Yes, and it's still not a great song, but it's way better than that. So Lollipop, and then I picked Not for Sale because There's a line in that track. I was just laughing. He says like, my reputation is not for sale. I'm like, motherfucker, what reputation?
Absolutely false.
Like, you're Steven Seagal. You're a C-list, or you're like a D-list going to F type of actor.
Yeah,
Like
C's a bit
what?
of a high bar right there. You're giving him a lot of credit there with C. Oh, hold up.
Yeah. See, I'm like, wait, no, C's too much for him. He was like like in the action stars, you had Arnold, then you had Stallone,
Mhm.
then you had Jean-Claude Van Damme, and then after Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Jackie
maybe
Chan?
Steven.
Nah, Jackie Chan's probably higher than.
Where's Bruce Willis on that ranking?
Oh, well, oh yeah, Bruce is, you know what? Because I think of Bruce Willis as more of a good actor because he's done some great stuff different. But yeah, Bruce Willis obviously would be higher than
Mm.
than Steven Seagal. My God, I think I would even rank I don't know, like Dolph Lundgren
Oh,
higher
oh,
than
way far
Steven.
back. He actually has like
No,
a
I
master,
did
like a PhD
Oh yeah,
I did.
Dolph
Yeah.
Lundgren's a very smart man.
in like
Yeah,
like neurobiology, neuroscience. He
and he'll
not even the
break
same.
you.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, Steven Seagal, there's just a handful of movies that I remember from him. I'm sure that my stepfather, if he watches this, which I doubt it, will be like, what are you talking about? Steven Seagal is one of the best action stars ever. He broke hands and shit in the movie. So
He
yeah,
clearly
not for.
hasn't seen the John Wick movies.
Mm.
Oh yeah, my father loves my stepfather loves the John Wick movies. Yeah, those are uh, he also liked Charles Bronson, who was
Oh,
this action star. So marked for the
Death
marked
Wish.
for death. Uh, I we gotta check if he did an album too.
I'll
Oh,
look it
oh,
up
for
right
sure.
now.
He probably did. Charles Bronson,
Because
for sure.
he probably did an album too. So not for sale is hilarious because he's saying all these things out his reputation, like everything's not for sale. I'm like, really, man? Like it sounds like you're trying to sell yourself. So yeah, that song is terrible, especially in the lyrics. And
That's a negative on Charles Bronson.
no,
Ah,
no Charles Bronson. So after this, obviously Strut is a terrible song, but it's so bad that I enjoy it. It's like it's one of those songs that
no.
you're listening to crap, but you're like, Mr. Steven Seagal, what you want? You want me, the punani, the punani. If I ever take a trip to
There goes
Jamaica,
our Jamaican watchers. They're
yeah,
they're gone now.
no, we'll have to go to Jamaica and be like, yeah, the punani. And Lady
Uh,
Saw, I remember that I'm like, she was hilariously like, is you know what's because they're trying to make like that song be sexy, like she's trying to seduce him, but I don't know, she kind of scared me. She's like, what do you want?
Punani.
Pull on that.
I'm like, I want a restraining order, bitch. Like,
Calm
stay
down,
away
girl.
from me. Oh, and the other hilarious line on that song is where he says like, he says, no, there's a part that says like, girls like to strut their dress, but you shouldn't look at them. I'm like, what? And then he says the dress is there more to cover the kitty. And I'm like,
Oh God.
that's that line about the kitty. I'm like, oh my God, it's like these lyrics are atrocious. And the last one I'm going to pick, the fifth one, is dance, because I don't know, it sounded like I like to go sometimes to eat where they have like the belly dancers and they put like songs of that, but this was like the worst belly dancing song because I was just listening to it and figuring like Steven Seagal, like 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 belly dancing. And he's like, yeah, man. I'm like,
oh
dude,
no.
you're not Jamaican. You're not from the Middle East. Like you said, you're from Michigan. So, I blame Michigan's water. That's what it is.
Kid
Oh,
Rock's from Michigan too.
Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah. Only
I was
Eminem
seeing a pattern.
survived.
Eminem's debatable.
Debatable, yeah. But
He's
yeah,
at the
that
very top. Detroit's a little bit different. He's at the very top.
yeah,
They get
yeah, he
close to Canada. They get cleaner water.
cleaner water. Because everyone, and you know what? I actually lived in Lansing, Michigan 1 year. Because for people, I studied law for 1 year and I fucking flunked. And after that, I said no more. And you know what? I'm so great because no offense, Lorenzo, but my God, there's so many lawyers.
My dad's a
That
lawyer.
is true. Oh.
My stepfather is a lawyer and a Steven
Oh,
Seagal fan.
damn.
I hear there are a lot of great restaurants in Lansing, though.
My girlfriend's a lawyer. so, so yeah, there's a lot of lawyers. So yeah, those like I could pick more songs, but those five in particular. So yeah, we've all picked songs. So now we're going to the third and final round, where we're going to give our final thoughts and our rating. So Lorenzo,
Well, okay. So, I mean, this is not good.
Straight to the point.
don't beat around the
Uh,
bush.
yeah, I mean,
Don't beat around the
I
290.
have to say, I feel I actually feel like this was like an actual passion project. It doesn't
It's a strong
feel like a cash grab or or trying to, I don't know how to explain it. It feels like I said earnest. Like an earnest attempt at making the music he likes, I guess.
Passion is a strong word because he sounds bored on a lot of these songs.
I mean, that's why you get the no man. You should get
That's true.
yeah, he probably did not have somebody telling him no,
He should
please
have
don't put
called
this
Rick
song.
Rubin.
I
Oh
mean
God.
the last few songs should have been kept off the album. This should have been like a crisp, 40-minute album, maybe 30 minutes, maybe
Maybe
an
a three-song
EP.
EP.
4-song
Oh,
Maybe
EP
yeah.
4
of just a
songs.
song to sound like 90s Eric Clapton.
And I don't think he's a great singer,
No.
but I actually liked his raspiness sometimes. He was like, then he did the Jamaican accent, and I was like, no, I can't do this. So I mean, I wish I could say that I love this because it's Steven Seagal, and I'm scared of him a little bit. He's kind of crazy. But I have to go. I mean, 2 thumbs down.
Mm.
Oh,
Nice. He'll probably find us and like he'll throw you off the building.
we're all marked for death after this.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, well, Steven Seagal, come at me. I'm hard to kill. I shouldn't say it. I'm actually in a building and it's the penthouse, so I would die if he
Ugh.
if he throws me off.
He's
So yeah,
moving
we
off the
got our
Jamaicans, the Puerto
first,
Ricans.
yeah, like our first thumbs down. So final thoughts, Matthew.
Just like Lorenzo, like, yeah, you could tell there is something there where like I think he put effort into this because production at times is pretty good. The backing singers, like it seemed really good at the beginning. Like it seemed like there was some real promise here and everything. And then mentioning, like it runs too long. Yeah, for sure. Like it makes me think like, you're a celebrity, you're gonna do this stuff, do an EP, do something short. Give us a well, now people give out singles, so that's much easier to digest. But yeah, an hour plus of all of this that just drags and drags. The first couple of songs, I was like, yo, kind of feeling this. He didn't seem that bad of a singer. The lyrics were kind of okay. Just I was like, man, I might like this. And then it just tanks so hard after My God and everything. Like literally, My God. And yeah, like I never want to go into something. I always try to go very neutral. Don't have any preconceptions about it. I try my best, but he has a reputation, and it, everything he seems to touch, I think he overextends himself. Like he's just doing too much. He wants to do everything and wants to be involved in everything. So many different genres, makes it really long and just strings things along for way too long. Like he doesn't know when to he needs that no man to tell him, hey, all right, you're good. You're good here. But yeah, it's pretty obvious. It's bad. Straight up. Like no ifs, ands, or buts. It's just bad.
Yeah. So we got our first two thumbs down. Rock of All Ages, your final.
4 thumbs down.
So yeah, 4 thoughts. What do you think, Rock of All Ages? Final thoughts on both.
So I'm reminded of an interview with that Bob Odenkirk did on Howard Stern. Bob Odenkirk used to write on SNL, I guess, and he was talking about when Steven Seagal hosted, who is like widely regarded as one of the worst hosts ever. And one of the things he talked about was like the last sketch on that episode where it was just Steven Seagal and a bunch of stuntmen in suits sitting around this like boardroom meeting table, and they're like Exxon executives or whatever. And then he walks in and just starts throwing them around, breaking stuff. And then at the end of the sketch, he walks towards the camera and says, "This is what happens when you pollute the planet." And that is funnier than anything he could ever do on purpose. And I'm reminded of that because like you guys were talking about this album being so bad it's funny. Me personally, I didn't laugh. I thought the Corey Feldman album was so bad it's funny. I thought the Methods of Mayhem album was so bad it's funny. This just annoyed me. Like the songs that sound like Eric Clapton, I could tolerate those. The reggae songs, fuck those. 2 thumbs down. I'm gonna keep the streak going.
Nice. So yeah, we got a lot of thumbs down. So before I give my final thought, I have a serious question. When he was doing this, like, who was the target audience for?
Your
like,
stepfather.
Who the fuck asked for a Steven Seagal album? Like, yeah, no, this album, like every one of you, like the beginning songs, I didn't think they were great, but I was like, yeah, this is not that bad.
That's clearly why he made a whole blues album after that, because that was the one thing he was okay at.
I'll give him that.
Like and the backup singers weren't bad, but then after like My God, it took a nosedive into crappiness. Like the songs were bad, like the music was bad, the lyrics are bad, and plus that Jamaican accent. I'm like, why? Like who took? Like, why would you do that? Like it's like again. 2 thumbs down too. Like this is an atrociously bad album. Yeah, and also like 1 hour of this. Like what the hell?
It's a slog.
Yeah, but I gotta say, Rock of All Ages, I commend you for listening to 2 of his albums because like I just listened to this one and
was not terrible, but you have no reason to listen to it.
No,
wait, was it shorter though?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Oh fuck.
Let me check.
There's not going to be a second episode for Steven Seagal.
No.
So there you have it, Couchers. So I had a friend this morning told me that this said we should change the name of this episode. Instead of Is It That Bad? It should have been called Was It That Good?
I like that.
Yeah, but yeah, it's isn't that bad. But yes, it is that bad, and we are going to cover more actors in the future. For example, David Hasselhoff, he had a bunch of albums. So at some time,
I just remembered Eddie Murphy put out music.
Oh yeah, he did.
Party all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's a
like
bang.
Oh man, we have a lot of choices.
yeah, no, we have a
Oh,
lot of choices for actors.
Oh yeah.
There's only one good actress that sings in a band, and it's Taylor Momsen from The
Yes.
Pretty Reckless.
I will say though, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who you may remember as Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim, she also had this one-off album as a this
oh,
act called "Got a Girl," and she's got a great voice. That's a really good album.
Yeah,
I'll say also Hugh Laurie, the guy
Hugh
who
Laurie, I've
plays
heard his stuff. Yeah.
House, Doctor House. He has some
what?
really cool, good like blues albums.
Oh my God! Robert Downey Jr. put out an album. We need to hear
No.
that.
Ooh.
nice. So the moral of the story is just because you're an actor, maybe some albums will be bad. And so far we've covered. This is the second actor we covered on Is It That Bad? The first one we did was Corey Feldman. So if you haven't seen that episode, around somewhere, and since this album has a lot of reggae too, watch No Doubt Is It That Bad for Rocksteady too. So first of all, I want to thank my panel for joining me on this hilariously funny episode. I think this is one of my favorites because I went into it. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. So Lorenzo, the professor, he doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he will be on more episodes here, and as you can see, he likes to search for crap music.
Crap music and crap movies. I'm one of those guys where you say that was crap.
You're
Is
like,
it? Is it though?
count, count me in.
But is
Maybe
it though?
is it that crap? So yeah, but he's gonna be on more episodes, and of course, Matthew from Diasable, he does have a YouTube channel, and he's nearing like the 800 to 900 subscribers. He does album reviews. He sometimes he interview some hardcore bands, and he also does reaction videos. And he's the only YouTuber reaction video that I watch because he's the only one that doesn't suck. Yeah, because
Actually, I started watching his videos when the first time we were in a Is It That Bad together, and I gotta say it's a very good content over there.
yeah, because his reaction, because there's some reaction videos where they're like, wow, what a great song. And I'm like, oh my God, someone shoot him, slap him, do something. But Matthew, he's an entertainer. Like he's like, ah, and he's like, he does like he truly reacts. And not only that, he reacts, then he puts pause and he explains what he's thinking. So that's why he's the best YouTube reaction channel on the YouTube. I'm saying it. Matthew is the best YouTube reaction channel. He does more than that, but no one can come close to Matthew. He's the GOAT. So, Matthew, what you coming up next, man, on the channel?
My channel, just got a few more. I'm gonna check out a local band that I got. Probably my worst reaction ever. I covered a local band a year ago, and the entire San Antonio metal scene just dunked on me. And I'm going back and reviewing another album of theirs and ready to see what else I'm gonna get from them.
Try to redeem
But,
yourself.
hmm?
Try to redeem yourself.
Redeem myself slash just still be honest with them and everything. But yeah, and a few things. I'm doing more content in terms of recording bands live and stuff. And if you guys ever are into hardcore, there's a band called The Geeks out here in South Korea. I'm gonna go on tour with them and help do their merch slash, record their sets and stuff like that. So I'm
Hey,
doing
good
that
luck
more
with that.
content
That
too.
sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, small little tour run. I'm excited to go out to Japan with them and just hang out. So
That's
no,
awesome.
Matthew's living the life. That's awesome that he gets to do that. And yeah, he covers also. He does a lot of like reviews of very underground bands as well, like which is needed because not every, like it's cool to talk about like the big release, but it's cool to talk about like more underground stuff as well, which yeah, like we do all the time. So, and Rock of Ages is more of like a podcast. So you see his face here. Well, you see him with glasses, and he's Like he's always in disguise. But on his channel, he does like a lot of he like a year. So what's next for your channel, Rock of All Ages?
So I just put out the top 10 biggest songs of 2013. And then
No punani there.
no. Then I did record, it's coming up towards the end of this month, a review sort of a Bad Omens album.
Ooh.
So stay tuned for that. And then after that is top 10 songs of 2014.
Nice. So yeah, so subscribe to the channel. And obviously, my channel, like finally, if you see this video, we finally premiered the new series, Should Have Been Bigger. And the first episode, we talked about Trust Company. I did that one with Justin and JC. And of course, the next Is It That Bad is going to be, we're going back to metal. It's going to be for Trivium, Silence in the Snow, which was a divisive record. Yes, I know, man. It was a divisive record. And I have a few album reviews. Check out, I did a Lacuna Coil review for this week, and I got more interviews. I like to interview a lot of I interview a lot of like underground, like more lesser known bands as well. Sometimes I interview like bigger bands, but I love talking to like up and coming bands because they have the most interesting stories. So that's what's coming up. So if you like my content, subscribe. If you know Steven Seagal, send him this video.
No, please.
No, you imagine if like Steven Seagal calls you, it's like you remember what happened to Bobby Lupo. Yeah, that's from Out of Justice. If Bobby Lupo here, I'm gonna get you, or something like that. But yeah, but like share this with people that love music. And my channel, it's been growing. Yeah, I'm like 140 plus away from 2,000 subscribers. So
That's big.
yes, when I started this channel, like free people gave a fuck. And I think most of them were my friends already. So, but yeah, it's been incredible, and obviously, there's gonna be more stuff this year, and I'm going to try to also review more like non-metal albums. Like I talked about Bad Bunny, and I want to do Lady Gaga when it comes out. So I want to talk about music that's not also metal because it's the Shield dude on a couch reviews. There's nothing about like that metal dude on the couch. So I like to talk about different stuff. So until next time, couchers, this is Hector, the Shield dude on a couch, and I'll see you, man, right here on the couch.
Oh
Thank
no.
you and good night.